Welcome to it, episode 549. I am ready to go. Are you ready to go? It's February 24th, Monday. Every Monday I'm putting out a new episode of the podcast. Please rate, review, subscribe, like it. Whatever you do, listen to it, share it with a friend. All of those things acceptable. We have a Facebook group, the Mike Herrera Facebook group. Come and join up. That's where the discussions happen, if there's a discussion. And that's where you can submit your band or your favorite song that you're connected to in some way, not just some random, this is my favorite George Michael song, Faith. Well, I guess it would be nice. It's not about that. It's about if you have a band or your buddy has a band, your favorite song, local band, group. I really want to try to get people out there that have music coming out and you're wanting to spread the word. That's what Music Mondays are all about. So the name of your group, the name of your song, where you're from, and a YouTube link to the song. If you have a music video, even better. I like to put those on the YouTube version of the podcast. And I review it, I talk about it, I tell you if I like it or not or whatever it is, and then we move on. But, really it's just about showcasing. It's not so much about me critiquing the music, although I do that a bit, and that's part of it. But it's really about me just showcasing the talent that we have in the community here at Mike Herrera Podcast. So that's Music Monday. That's on Facebook. Shows, MXPX, nothing to announce right now, but Goldfinger has a show coming up pretty soon, February 28th, at House of Blues, Anaheim, California, and then March 1st, that's Friday, and then March 1st, Saturday, is the Soma, or just Soma in San Diego, California. MXPX has played Soma before, a while back. We actually played Soma, like the original Soma as well, but neither here nor there. Goldfinger will be there. It's going to be awesome. The Ataris, Mad Caddies, Slick Shoes, all friends of mine. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to be at those shows. It's never guaranteed that I'm there playing bass. As a general rule, we can't guarantee that I'm going to be at every show because it does sometimes conflict with other things. But hey, that's coming up next. Can't wait for it. I'm going to practice as if I'm going. And we'll see. We'll see out there. I've been songwriting. I've just been working on a lot of song ideas. Sometimes you have a song idea right in the moment. Boom. Here's my song idea. Write it down. This one's called Meditation. Whatever. I was talking about that last week on the podcast. A little bit of meditation. Song's called Meditation. Boom. I like to meditate. We'll finish that later. But if you finish the song in one day, that's pure inspiration, right? It's everything's coming together in a way in your life, timing wise, what you have going on. Maybe you blow off something that you plan to do and you just write this song. But writing a song, for the most part, usually takes. It really depends on how fast the ideas come, but usually, even if it comes fast for me, it's taken me all day to really decide, okay, this is how the song's going to finally be. Because just because I write a song doesn't mean I'm not changing the song and tweaking the song. So there's one thing. That's writing a song all in one day, one sitting. Maybe it only takes you 15 minutes. Sure, that happens sometimes. Sometimes you freestyle a song. You're like, and that's great. It's done. That's the best, right? That's what we want. That's what we're aiming for. That's like one take Jake, But most of the time, you write a song idea, meditation. Let's write that down in my phone. Boop, 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 boop. I'll often write any other thing I have associated with it. Sometimes it's a title. Sometimes it's a line of a song, like a lyric. And boom, there it sits until I'm ready to work on it, because I'm doing a podcast right now. Like I picked up this phone to look at the Goldfinger dates, and I'm just like, scroll. What am I doing? I'm looking for Goldfinger dates. Okay. All right. They got me. They really did. They got me. Apparently, there's a bunch of, I'm like looking for something. Bunch of crazy people. Songwriting stuff. See, write better bridges. So I get sucked into these things. And I'm like, I don't need this. Like, I just need to do the work, and I'm going to make it happen. But I often wonder, as a songwriter and as a creative person that's making videos, doing songwriting, putting albums together, putting videos together, putting text, words, is what I'm doing fine? And if I just push myself to be even better each time, and then I use whatever influences I have sort of subconsciously, is that going to be enough? Or do I need to go watch all these videos about how to write a better bridge or a better hook, or how to come up with lyrics that are outside your wheelhouse? You know, like, is that important? And I'm just asking myself this question right now on the podcast. I don't know the answer. Probably it could be important. I guess it depends what you watch, what it sort of influences you to do. And then what is that song that you wrote because of that? Is it a good song? Is it, you know, so like, sure. I guess it's just door one, door two, door three. We can just, that's almost enough to drive you crazy in a lot of ways, because especially here in America, in the US, we have so much choice when it comes to what we can wear clothing wise, what we can go out and eat. Where do you want to go? There's so many places to eat. There's so many places to go grocery shopping. There's you can go online and go shop. I mean, the choice, there's so many different types of computers to buy, even within one brand. Like I have Apple, but there's so many different laptops by Apple that you could buy. And over the years that I have ended up purchasing. But you know, the choice is endless. Choice is endless. And it drives me crazy a lot of times. So you almost have to game yourself to be more focused in. And I have to game myself. I don't know about you. I got to game myself to be more focused in. So like when I'm scrolling on this phone and I forget, oh, Goldfinger. All right, Goldfinger. Okay, good. There was a couple times where I was just like, okay, I got to get this podcast done, but I'm interested in what I'm reading here. So I need to finish reading this or finish watching this video. And then I just kind of like realized to myself, I'm like, this is not going to change your life. This is not going to change your life if you don't finish what you're watching. And it won't change your life if you do finish what you're watching. So like, I just had to like tell myself, all right, let's do this. Put the toy away. Be an adult. Let's do this. And it's funny because I have to do this even with songwriting. Like I have to tell myself, all right, let's go to work, because songwriting, even though it's fun for me, it is a job. It is work. It is something that you have to put your brain to. It's not just mindless scrolling and mindless watching a TV show. And hey, we all need breaks. There's nothing wrong with taking a break. There's nothing wrong with watching TV shows. I use TV at the end of the night when I need to get the song idea out of my head, when I need to, when we're hanging out with the family and everybody's just like chilling, we'll put on a show and we'll watch it together and we have something in common, you know. That's something that's sort of become a thing in the last year, really, because the kids are old enough now where we can watch something together. And there's nothing wrong with being entertained together with your family or by yourself. I use it to unwind. But what I'm saying, when I need to be getting something done, like the podcast, like songwriting, like whatever it may be, making a video, that's when I need to not be watching TV. That's when I need to not be scrolling on social media. So it's nothing anybody doesn't already know. You know this. But it's funny how we know this, yet we still do it. So I'm talking about it because it literally just happened to me. And it's something that you would think me as a professional, somebody that's very focused in on doing MXPX work, on writing songs, on playing Goldfinger, I got practice to do. You would think I would be like, oh, I'm so tuned in with my my craft. And I am tuned in with my craft, but doesn't mean that the regular human things go away. You know, like it's funny how, you know, when you see celebrities doing very normal things. There was something years ago where Kanye West, Ye, is it Ye or Ye? Ye was, he was caught smiling on camera. He was like at an event and he was smiling. And then when he realized the camera was on him, he like stopped smiling. It's like, oh, he let himself be human for a minute. And then he realized, no, all cameras are on me. Boom. It's a lot like when you watch like a politician doing a speech and then you see the people in the background being human. And it's the people that aren't human in the background. They're like too perfect. You're like, that's weird. That's just very weird. And I don't know. I'm getting a weird feeling from all these lizard people, but that's another podcast. Songwriting, you know, it really is about focus. And when I get into the flow of the song, I've talked about this before, that is the best place to be, in the flow of the song where you have most of your lyrics, you're just tweaking a few things, you've written most of the song and you need like one more part. That to me is the best part to be in because you're already feeling good about the song, you're singing, your emotions are going into crafting this idea, and you know you just need that one last piece of the puzzle, and it's just gonna lock it all into place. Boom, present new song. And that to me is the best. And it's not easy to be in there. It's a balance because, you know, sure, I'm not gonna not write that final piece, but I'm very skeptical. Is this the one? Is this the piece? And I think on the song that I'm writing right now, I'm writing a song and it's kind of like that. Like there's like maybe a missing piece and there's a lyrical puzzle as well. And the lyrical puzzle, without giving anything away, is a struggle for me between the song title idea, meaning this thing that's a little more negative, or meaning this other more positive thing. They both totally work. Can I really do the positive lyric in a way that makes sense, where you're reading the lyrics and you're like, this makes sense as a story. I get what's happening here. Because with the negative thing, it's just a little bit easier to be negative in a more artistic way. I'm sorry, it's just true. It's true. And so I've really not struggled. I've really worked hard at being positive, despite having some negative lyrics, because you always have a negative part of a positive story. There's a crisis in any good story, and a lot of the times my songs start out sounding negative, sounding sad. But I don't always, but I try to, when it makes sense, have an uplifting ending, have an uplifting chorus where everything turns around. Because that's been a lot of my experience in life, to be honest. Like I've had a lot of problems, but been able to work through those problems. And wow, you know, it's like something you thought in your life was the worst thing ever that could happen. For us at the time, maybe it was signing my songwriting publishing away for all the early Tooth and Nail songs. You know, I thought like I just gave away all of the equity I've really ever may have in my life, and kind of realizing that, all right, one, got it back. You know, when we signed with Secret Weapon, which is a moral dilemma. You know, do we sign for Secret Weapon? Do we sign with Tooth and Nail? Even though they've done this in the past, okay, we're willing to let this go to get this. You know, it was sort of like a Faustian bargain in some ways, but really it was like more like a sports trade. It was like, you know, we're giving up something we want, but we're also giving up something we want, meaning we're going to sign to you and go back and be, you know, bow to the altar in some ways, some may think, but we're going to get all the publishing back for all these records. And that to us was more important. You know, it was more important, and And if things were going, things were really, really, really good with Side One Dummy. Not that they were bad at all, but it was just they were a good label. But it wasn't something that we felt like we had been there so long that we couldn't leave. We had done two records really, but one full length. And all credit to them. They worked really hard on promoting that record, and no complaints there on the team at Side One. But we unfortunately we had to take this deal to get the publishing, and it was like boom, boom, boom. And because of the publishing, we've really been able to do a lot more independently. We've been able to maneuver in the world in a way that is much more independent than most bands are. At the same time, being part of the infrastructure that built us, which was partly the indie label infrastructure, but then into the major label infrastructure. And so we're still part of that. Like, they own all those old records. That's all Universal. So it's just the newer stuff that we own. But there's been a lot of good that has come out of that deal. So I don't regret doing that deal with Tooth and Nail and looking back, but it's just like, sometimes you have to take a chance. You have to give up. You have to do something you wouldn't normally just do. And that was that deal, but I can't even remember why I'm talking about this. We started about talking about, there's just so much choice in the world and why we choose certain things, and maybe that's why I'm talking about the Tooth and Nail deal and leaving Side One. Is we had to make a choice. We had to make a bargain. We had to really decide what we were going to do. So I've learned a lot over the years, and I've learned not to regret all the things. And I think why I brought that up was I was talking about, like, some of the things that we think are the worst things that happen in life don't end up being the worst things that happened. Like, at the time, Side One Dummy and us, we were not, when we split from them, they were not happy with us. But we've worked with them since, and everything's good. Everything's fine. Now, is it like Survivor, where, like, the show Survivor? Have you seen it? I've seen it a lot over the years. So I'm intrigued by the fact that, like, these people are having to lie to each other, each other's faces about, no, you're safe, and we're voting you off the island tonight. So it may be something like that, but no, I don't think so. I think at the time it's the worst thing ever, and then you move on and you do your work, you do your thing, and you find things that work for you, and you come back together and you go, it was cool working with you, and we did, and no hard feelings. So Joe Sib is still a really good friend of mine, really close friend, but at the time he was bummed, and rightfully so. He deserved to be bummed. I think we talked about it even on the podcast when he came on the podcast. I think we actually talked a little bit about that situation, but yeah, it all came out great. Life is good. Other things have happened in life, not so great, but nothing to do with that. Just the infinity of choice here we have in 2025. You just have to really try extra hard to focus in and have a system, have a routine or a system. And, some artists would say, oh, you can't have routines. It's going to make you boring. It's going to whatever. Honestly, I think in this day and age, having some loose routine, and that can change, of course, but having a routine will really get you further. It's going to get you going if you have an idea of what you're doing the next day, if you have an idea of, I live a pretty great life where I don't have to plan my days out really too much. There's a few things on the calendar here and there, but my mornings are pretty much the same. And I wake up, I do my social media if I have anything to do. If not, I don't. I'll scroll a little bit and I'll catch myself, and then I'll get up and I'll go and say hey to the family, and then probably put out any fires that need putting out, work-wise, if there's anything that needs to be done or addressed or gotten, and by fires, probably just, they're not really fires, to be honest. They're just, hey, can you get me this? Can you get me this? I need copy ideas for this. Can you write this? So, whatever it is, I try to get that done. And if it's just regular everyday stuff, I don't even go to the studio until late morning. I'll get a haircut before I go there. I'll whatever. But I'm usually eating pretty late. I'll eat as late as I can and then go to the studio before it gets too late in the day. But I'll do all my house stuff in the morning. I'll go and do yard work. I'll take the trash, do anything with the trash. I'll do that in the morning. And then when I get home later in the day, I'm with the family, and then I go back to the studio and I do more work after the family's done for the night. So, and then the next day starts. So that's my home schedule. I'll do a podcast here in the afternoon, or in the evening sometimes. I'll be songwriting. I'll be doing videos. Stop by the merch arsenal, say hey to everybody working there, help them out with things, discuss merch ideas, pick up things that I had sent over there. It's just it's a routine, and when I know I need to be doing something, I just insert that into my routine that's already there, and so it kind of just works really nicely. I don't mind it, and when I go to Waco, the routine changes for sure. Times change, when I'm talking to management changes, what time, how long, I'm not going to the studio. My studio is just in the backyard. It's in the garage. It's a studio built in the garage, so I can just walk out to the back, start writing. I wrote Stay Up All Night in Waco, and that was I usually seem to have a lot of songwriting sessions while I'm in Texas because, I'm not here at the studio. I'm not doing a whole lot of live band stuff. We're not doing practice. Tom's out of town right now. Yuri was out of town. I don't know if he still is, but so this is just a time where everybody's kind of doing their thing, doing a few things, and I'm really just focused in on building some songs, making some songs happen. I think last week I mentioned 3 things that I do as an artist. I build the song, I build the art, which for me it's a song, and then you put the song, put it out and get the word out and tell people about it, and that's marketing. So create, market, and then third is marketing as well, but it's performing, which is marketing really, but it's also giving people back the thing that they wanted, and that's a live show. People, they always want a live show. Of course you do. I mean, who wouldn't? Seeing somebody live, it doesn't matter how bad they are. Seeing it live is gonna be better. It's gonna be better. And even if somebody chokes, you saw them choke live, right? So there's just something about live. Choice. We can't choose everything. We can't have everything. So we have to choose something. All right. Let's get to, how about one voicemail? One voice. So my voicemail queue is completely empty, at least at the time that I'm looked in it. Except for I found one that I hadn't yet listened to and I hadn't downloaded. So I downloaded it, somehow missed it from a few weeks ago. And I'm sure by the time this airs, there's more people that have called in. But if you want to call in and be part of the show, the number is 360-830-6660. Give me a topic. Tell me a story about MXPX, about your life, about how you discovered whatever, punk rock, playing bass, singing. I don't know what it is you do. Maybe you're an artist. Maybe you're an office geek and you crunch numbers. I want to hear about you crunching numbers and why do you love MXPX? And how does that all fit together? I want to know about your lives, and we'll try to make it good. And if you want to ask me anything, this is the place to do it. All right. I think there's been maybe 3 or 4 voicemails that I haven't aired because they were inappropriate or it was just way too crazy or something. But for the most part, every call that comes in, I'm putting up here, and I'm not listening before I answer the question. So I don't know what I'm going to say, and I don't know what you're going to say. So here we are. one voicemail from Michael.
Hello, Mike. This is Michael again, and I did want to say thank you for telling us a little about what you think makes certain songs great ones. I have another question for you, and this one is about music videos. In the past, I haven't paid much attention to videos. The one that I saw really captured my attention was the one for Get Up Before the Night Is Over by Technotronic. What I liked about it was how it captured how dynamic and engaging of a front woman that Manuela Tomosi really was. I do think that she was as skilled at getting the audience to see things from her perspective as Joe Strummer was, and that's a very rare thing. It also led me to reflect a little on how Technotronic's original lineup ended up throwing the towel after only one album and one tour due to their disillusionment with record company greed. But that's another story for another day. Anyway, this got me interested in watching your videos, and the only ones that I'd seen before this were the ones for Money Tree and Chick Magnet, which I still like. So I decided to watch all of them in the order of release, and I wanted to offer a huge shout out to Chris, who runs the NXPX archive website, as he made this very easy to do. The three that really jumped out at me are Running Out of Time, Can't Keep Waiting, and Stay Up All Night, all of which I liked a lot. Of these three, I'd say that Can't Keep Waiting is probably my favorite, but I feel that very strong cases can be made for all three of them. Thus, my question is, what is your main goal in creating a music video? I know that marketing plays a role, with artists wanting the audience to see their faces and be able to connect an artist's identity to their songs, and that for some artists, some songs actually became hits because they made creative videos for them. Additionally, I know that there have been some videos that have had cultural impact by making a statement about social issues. But is the real goal to try to get the fans to reflect more on the meanings of the songs? As a fan, I am someone who really appreciated you taking the time to spell out what you were thinking when writing each song in the notes that you included in the YouTube posts for the Between This World and the Next sessions. Are the videos really a more subtle way of doing that? Is that the impression that I got from Running Out of Time, Can't Keep Waiting, and Stay Up All Night? Or is there more to it than that? Oh, and then for Set a Fire, I did like the cinematography and the timing of the cuts, so that one gets an honorable mention. Anyway, love the podcast as always, and please keep up the good work.
All right, Michael, thank you for the call. Appreciate that. Great question. Great question. Well, I think it's changed over the years. You know, it was definitely a marketing tool, still is. But when videos got popular in the 80s, I guess it was, MTV came out, it was just a new medium. It was like a new way to experience music in a way that no one had done before. It was mind-blowing. So I think that's still the case. It's just a different medium. It's a different way to experience a song. Some people prefer just closing their eyes and listening and imagining what their mind does. But then there's other people that want visuals fed to them. And so I just think it's just another way to get the song out to people that like the song and they like the band and they like the sound. So aside from just MXPX, just videos are a way to experience music. It's a new way, well, not new anymore. And is there a newer way than videos that has come out since the music video? Lyric videos. I guess it's still a video. Doesn't really constitute brand new, but it is a variation of a music video. Now, what is it for? Is it supposed to go deeper into the song? Sometimes it's literally just entertainment. But I think it varies. For us, the reason why we did a video for every song on Find a Way Home, and if you haven't listened or watched all the videos from Find a Way Home, it's worth checking out. I mean, if you're a fan of MXPX, we put a lot of work and a lot of time into them, and there's definitely some that are better than others, and you can decide for yourself what you think that is. But Michael here really likes Running Out of Time, Can't Keep Waiting, Stay Up All Night, Set a Fire. Now, Stay Up All Night is the only video, or only song from Find a Way Home out of all of these 4 songs. Running Out of Time is a B-side that we never played live. We never even we just recorded it and it was done. It was a demo. And a friend of mine, Bill, really wanted to do a video for it, so we did a video. And that was around the time when we were completely independent. That came out on Side One Dummy, but we really weren't going through Side One Dummy for that video. It was just like independently done. It's so strange. Anyway, as far as I remember, if I'm remembering correctly, Can't Keep Waiting, that's in the new era. We did that ourselves. Stay Up All Night, we did that ourselves. Set a Fire ourselves. So like, yeah, I mean, all of these videos we were the main part of. Like a lot of the older videos, were done through the record label. Like, but this was done through us. Boom, all these ones. But yeah, what are we trying to do? I think it changes because, like I said, let me go back to my point with Find a Way Home. We had a video for every song. Not every song had a storyline to it. So not every song followed with what the song was about, the theme of the song. Stay Up All Night was one of them because you followed these different characters and it gave you the feeling of what the song was. And the main theme of the song is you don't give up on the ones you love. That's it. There's a lot of different avenues you can take it. You just do not give up on people. When you love people, you do not give up on them. And if you give up on them, you probably didn't love them. So that is the theme, and it's pretty simple, but you really get that emotion with the video. And Can't Keep Waiting, that was more of a helpless vibe, and so we wanted to do a video that I'm trying to like think back. We had shot the video and it didn't really work out because we didn't have the full video in mind. We just tried to shoot a bunch of montage type stuff and put a story together, and it did not work. And so Johnny, who directed the video, I sat down with him and we really like buckled down and said, okay, in order to make this video work, we need to come up with a full treatment, a full script, exactly how we want it to go. So we have montages, and we knew we wanted it here, and she was going to come in and to do all this stuff. So like we really planned it out, and what was the meaning behind it? Well, she kept being surprised by things in her life. So she got home from work, she came in, she threw her keys down, she's trying to have a drink. She drops something, I don't know what the order is, but like the band appears on her TV and she's like looking at us like, why is the TV on? And she turns it off, comes out, she drops her drink, the glass smashes everywhere. So like these things keep happening in her life, in her house. She goes to the bathroom, she's trying to watch a movie, boom, we come on, she's like, hey, what's up? So like the idea there is subtly that you just never know what's going to happen next in your life. And you have to keep rolling with the punches. You got to keep adapting. And that's it. So not too deep really, but I mean, I think we did a great job. I think Johnny did a great job at editing it all together. And I think we did a great job of integrating the band into the storyline in a cool way. So yeah, I'm actually pretty proud of that video. I thought it turned out great. Stay Up All Night. We already talked about Stay Up All Night. Set a Fire. That was another sort of community, us guys getting together with Shane Smith. He lives in Tacoma, Washington, but he's done a bunch of stuff with us, and he hadn't done anything video-wise. He was kind of like getting into it. He had done a couple videos. We're like, hey, we want to do something really punk rock, really gritty, really just wild and hardcore. And so we got together and did that with him. And it's pretty self-explanatory. We have a torch, and Set a Fire is all about taking that fire we have inside us, passing it on to the next generation, the next person, the next partner, the next person, whatever, right? Like that was the idea, just nothing more than that. And then what grew around that is like the mob scene, and you kind of make it interesting looking, but at the end of the day, we're passing the torch from one person, and then that person passes the torch to the next person, and so on and so forth. So yeah, proud of that. I think it turned out great. We didn't spend a ton of time on it, and didn't spend a lot of money either. Like, these are very low budget videos, and I don't know how much Technotronic spent on their video, but you know, most of the money we spend is usually for the actual director. Like, it goes to the person that's making the video. Everybody else is just there to have a good time. So shout out to everybody that's been in our videos, volunteer actors, extras. It's been so much fun, and we had a lot of friends in there. So you know who you are. We appreciate you. All right. Hey, thank you so much, you guys. I appreciate it. It's been a great podcast. I've been just talking off the cuff, off my top of my dome. Didn't really know I was going to talk about choice and all that, but we'll see. We'll see what happens next week. Until then, next week is actually March. This week's February, the end of February. Next week's actually March. Yes. Time is flying. The year is already flying by. I can't believe it, but I'm going to get back in that studio and keep writing. All right. Be well. Shout out to Bob McKnight for producing and doing all he does. I appreciate you, my man. And mxpeaks.com for your merch. Boys are mean, girls are mean. If you haven't seen those t-shirts, they're up. Hopefully not sold out by the time you're seeing this. But if it is, thank you. Appreciate it. mxpeaks.com. We got vinyl, t-shirts, hoodies, hats. Girls are mean shirts. Boys are mean shirts. Oh, yeah. The memories. So good. All right. Peace out.